The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The Marcos administration's economic managers recommended boosting government spending as economic growth lagged in the second quarter. In a joint statement, the economic managers say the country performed well in the first half of the year. The continued reopening of the economy, which boosted tourism, improved employment, and pushed recovery in the services sector. However, gains in tourism-related spending and commercial investments were dampened in the second quarter by inflation-lagged effects of interest rate hikes and global headwinds. Government spending also declined due to the absence of election-related spending. Economic managers say government spending should accelerate in the coming quarters to recover growth momentum. They add that the government will also intensify its targeted measures to cushion the impact of high inflation on vulnerable sectors. To hit the government's target of 6 to 7% this year, the economy would have to grow at least 6.6% in the second half. Bangko Sentral Governor Eli Remolona, however, warns of challenges in achieving this.
As I said, there is a risk of a global economic slowdown that will also drag us down a little bit. It's a good thing that we have ample reserves. El Nino will cause drought, maybe, in the Philippines, but it's already causing some drought in our neighbors. This means higher food prices. And then, of course, we have geopolitical and trade tensions.
At least 4,000 metric tons of white onions are expected to arrive in the country next week. The Agriculture Department said that the arriving imported white onions would contribute to the country's buffer stock, which would only last for less than a month. Meanwhile, stocks of red onions are estimated to reach about 100 days. The DA explained that importation is needed to prevent onion hikes, which reached as high as 700 pesos per kilo last year. As of August 11, retail prices of local red onions are priced between 140 to 190 pesos per kilo. Local white onions cost between 110 to 170 pesos per kilo, while the imported white onions are at 110 to 160 pesos per kilo. City bus operators are calling to remove the EDSA busway, citing losses incurred during the pandemic. The busway system was changed during pandemic as busways were placed on the inner lanes in EDSA. But they note that this move limited their operations, bringing down daily passenger count to just over 500 from 3,000 back in 2020. Operators now want the system removed and are calling for the return of the old system.
Hindi naman kami kumita during COVID. Kaya ang nangyayari sa amin, pinipressure na kami ngayon ng mga creditors na magbayad na kami. Akala nila kung kikita kami, kaya pinipilit namin umalik sa EDSA.
However, the MMDA warns that removing bus lanes will cause more inconvenience for commuters as it could worsen the traffic situation. The LTFRB, for its part, said that it will create a technical working group to balance the needs of the bus operators and maintain the order of traffic.
Dahil nga po dito sa COVID-19 may mga travel demands po, no, na nakita po na yung may pre-pandemic na hindi na kailangan, may marong pre-pandemic na kailangan, no, yung mga yung during pandemic na develop po siya na may demand na rin. So yun po yung binabalanse po ngayon ng ahensya. At
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The Philippine Reclamation Authority admits difficulties in suspending some ongoing reclamation projects in Manila Bay. Recall that the government has suspended all 22 reclamation projects in Manila Bay pending review of their environmental and social impacts. But speaking to the big story, PRA Assistant General Manager Joseph John Literal says it's difficult to suspend the projects, especially 3 ongoing ones where so much funds have already been shelled out for. He also noted that the process of approval and securing permits for the projects is quite tedious and takes up to 2 to 3 years each after applying at the PRA. Still, Literal says the agency will follow the government's orders.
Financially, they have already spent so much on the studies. And secondly, foreign vessels and crews are already in. And, whenever these vessels would have their operation, they would be assessed with demurrage and other fees by the authorities. However, being an agency under the Office of the President, we have to, to comply with the orders of the President.
The armed forces eyes to form a maritime militia in the West Philippine Sea amid China's harassment in the area. Over 300 Chinese ships have been spotted in the disputed waters, including some Chinese militia masquerading as fishing vessels. They are the ones who occasionally harass our boats and ships, as was the case with the water cannon attack last weekend. Because of this, the AFP is looking to form a group to counter China's force, which may include fisher folk as reserve forces.
So we are also trying to develop our reservists who will be able to operate in the sea. Yun nga yung gusto nga natin, yung mga fisher folks natin ay gawin din natin mga reservists at tuturuan natin sila kung paano sila makakatulong sa pagdepensa ng ating bansa.
The Coast Guard hits out at pro-China Filipinos, calling them traitors. PCG spokesperson Jay Tariela said Filipinos defending and making excuses for China's aggressive behavior are unpatriotic. Tariela called on Filipinos to unite in calling out China and protecting the country's interest and pursuit of peaceful resolution. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 11:15 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News, all sides, all the time.